So we ensure that we can start with everybody ready. So thank you very, very much, you all, to be with us here today. It's nice to see each and every one of you, to be able to listen to each and every one of you. It has been challenging times for all of us, but it's nice, at least through these online tools, to see you and talk to you. And before I begin, I have to share with you a sad news we received this morning, that our good friend Jean-Paul Leglis, our past president, passed away yesterday evening. And we had a session this morning. We didn't know it. We knew in between, and it's really sad because he was a good friend. He was a supporter of ISWA. He was an enthusiast and a volunteer. So here I'd like, on behalf of the ISWA board, to express our sadness. I've sent a message to be shared with his family, with our condolences, and I want really to keep working and continue his legacy within ISWA. So it's time for us to really have some moments of positive thoughts, some vibrations, some prayers for him, and our gratitude for what he has done to ISWA. And let's move. And we are here. We learned a lot with him, and we are here really to continue. And as I talked during the morning session, and also I always remember, ISWA started its activities 50 years and some months ago, in January 1970. After the merge of two existing associations. And so since the beginning, one of the associations based in Switzerland, another association based in the United Kingdom. And then since the beginning, we can see that cooperation and globalization are part of our DNA. And today we start this new initiative by signing a declaration to be one of the founding partners of the WasteWise partnership. I signed the declaration today, earlier during the first session, and together with the United Nations Human Settlements Program, UN-Habitat, AVALNORG, and the Yunus Environment Hub, we are the founding partners of this WasteWise partnership. And this reinforces the above mentioned, the before mentioned aspects of our DNA of cooperation and globalization. This new coalition under the Secretariat of WasteWise Cities, an initiative launched by the Executive Director of UN-Habitat, aims to foster collaboration between cities in order to improve municipal waste management. Because we realized that the scale of human interference on Earth has reached unprecedented levels, affecting the structures of our planet and possibly creating a new geological age known as the Anthropocene, a human-dominated one. But we still lack of proper waste management. There are billions of people without basic waste collection services. There are billions of people without safe waste disposal, and this creates an environmental and a healthy emergency. Because one of the most noticeable footprint from the current times is the waste generated every day around the world. According to ISWA's vision, waste should be reused and reduced to a minimum, then collected, recycled, and treated properly. And only residual matter should be disposed of in a safely engineered way, ensuring a clean and healthy environment to all. The WasteWise partnership, in which we are proud to be one of the founding partners and active supporters, aims to enhance municipal solid waste management and the transition to a circular economy for healthier ecosystems and communities. And Francesca Calisesi from UN-Habitat will present in more details, but the partnership will develop activities focusing in 3 core areas: mobilization of funds and project implementation, capacity building, and advocacy to raise awareness and promote communication tools towards local communities, towards cities all over the world. This is the decade of action. We have until 2030 to achieve several improvements set by the Sustainable Development Goals. A global agenda to beat poverty, to protect the environment, and build a prosperous world, leaving no one behind. Unmanaged waste is one of the largest sources of pollution, ecosystem degradation, and health problems, but simultaneously represents a lost economic opportunity. It doesn't need to be that way. The waste industry can be a net saver of greenhouse gases emissions. Waste can be a source of renewable energy, can be used as secondary material in different manufacturing processes. So waste can be an environmental and an economic asset. And here we are about to take the first step to implement an important initiative based on joint cooperation to implement practical and concrete changes with impacts on the ground, to develop sustainable and professional waste management locally, to restore urban ecosystems by engaging local authorities, decision makers, businesses, entrepreneurs, and citizens. There are several efforts being made on that direction to revert the current situation and deliver better waste management in the most different parts of the world. However, there is a lack of coordination among those efforts, wasting resources and time. And in most cases, achieving business as usual solutions. We need to integrate ideas, to replicate successful cases, to develop innovative solutions, and support the political will to make changes and improvements at the local level. This will be only possible by working together with you, with our national members. The core group of ISWA, the overseas bodies of our association who represent the waste industry in the different parts, in the different countries, who will be able to bridge the bridge, to engage municipalities, to enhance municipal solid waste and resource recovery in order to tackle the global waste crisis we are facing and move towards prosperous circular economy. You are instrumental for the success of this new partnership and will benefit from that as well, both on a professional and a personal perspective. Because after all, the right to enjoy an environment with clean air, seas, and soils is a basic human right to be valued and enjoyed by all. So here, I'd like to thank you all for joining us. I would like to thank you for being a long-standing ISWA supporter, ISWA member, and now I will shift and also thanking UN-Habitat. I will request Francesca Calizesi from UN-Habitat to present in more details the WasteWise Cities initiative, the WasteWise partnership, which links to the Sustainable Cities initiatives of ISWA, shared by Philip Haling, who will then take over after Francesca's presentation and interact with you all. Thank you very much for joining us, and please, let's keep together, let's surpass these challenge moments and build this future we want. Thank you, Francesca. Thank you for joining us. The stage, the video is yours. Thank you. You are muted, Francesca.
Can you hear me now?
Now, yes. Thank you.
Okay, great. Thank you for the introduction, Carlos, and thank you to ISWA for like continuing the engagement with UN-Habitat and like joining forces to push and our agenda, our common agenda on solid waste management. If it's possible, I would like to share the presentation. I think, would you mind maybe making me like, allow me to share, please?
I think it's ready now, Francesca, please.
Yes, thank you so much.
Great.
Okay. And good morning, everyone, because I guess now we are in Latin America. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for taking the time to attend to this event and learning more about what UN-Habitat is doing and in collaboration with ISWA as well. So I will take you through the presentation about the WasteWise cities. Also, as like Carlos already introduced, at this moment of our society, of our world, we are definitely in several crises, including environmental and waste crisis. And in fact, just to give some data, we have 2 billion people without access to waste collection services, 3 billion without access to controlled waste disposal services, and this lack of services is creating several negative outcomes, such, for example, increase of greenhouse gases emission given to open dump site especially, and also it poses health risks for human beings and for the animals, as we know. So back in 2018, our executive director, Maimouna Mod-Sherif, together with His Excellency, the President of Kenya, launched the WasteWise Cities, a call for action for local governments, especially, and municipalities and cities of any size, to act upon the waste management and the waste crisis, and to put it as like a priority in their agenda, to be able to deliver on better waste management services and decrease our the ecological footprint that waste management has on our environment and our planet. So at the moment, the WasteWise Cities has a network of 200 cities from all over the world, as Latin America, South America, Africa, Asia, Europe, and we are reaching out to more than 140 million people. And then we also have a network of affiliates. Affiliates are like entities of, for example, NGOs, academia, private sector that have a stake in the waste management, and they are willing to work with us, to collaborate, to join forces under the WasteWise cities, because they share the same vision, and they also aim to move towards sustainable waste management and circular economy, and a circular economy. The WasteWise cities has a global focus, and as I say, the main target groups are the cities and the other stakeholders involved in the waste management. And then we have a regional chapter of the WasteWise cities that is focusing on Africa, which is called the African Clean Cities Platform, and is mainly supported by the Japanese government through its development agency cooperation, JICA, and the Ministry of Environment. Okay, so which are the objectives of the WasteWise Cities program? So our goal is to enhance the waste management and resource efficiencies or in the cities of our planet. And how we were planning to do so is to work with cities and affiliates to provide them tools, knowledge, supports for funds mobilization in order for them to be able to improve on the municipal solid waste collection and the control level of the facilities where waste is recovered or disposed, increase recycling, enhance management of hazardous waste, and decrease waste generation. So how a city joins the WasteWise cities? A city official just need to fill in a letter of intent, which is available on our website, and we will also be happy to share it afterwards. And by signing to this letter of intent, there is no financial commitment, but we ask for, of course, commitment and willingness to work together and really making steps towards the improvement of the waste management, taking action on how, taking action to improve on waste management. And we suggest 12 principles to start with to take this action. And these are the same principles that a city pledged to while signing the letter of intent. So let's look at them. So one key aspect for us is assessing the waste situation. So in order to act on something, it is important to know what it is. So the first principle is assess quantity and type of waste generated. Number two is improve on the logistics of transport and collection. Three, ensure that the waste after being collected then is safely disposed and not just dumped anywhere. We suggest promotion of the 5 R's, so rethink, refuse, reduce, reuse, and recycle, to increase awareness both in adults but also in like young people, to really shift shift the mind, create awareness, and having like citizens that are environmentally conscious and they care about the environment and understand why waste management it is important and everyone should care about it. Then we also look at the empowering and working with different stakeholders, formal and informal ones. And especially for the informal ones, it is important to ensure safe working conditions, because we are all aware that a lot of informal workers every day are contributing dramatically to recovery of waste, but very often their work is underestimated or under-recognized, and also they are exposed to like several health risks and also harsh environmental conditions. Or so we believe that improving this waste condition, the working condition of all waste workers, formal and informal, is essential. We also promote innovation and technologies, of course, appropriate to the local context. And we support cities in the encourage them to plan in the long term and medium and short, especially on waste services delivery, thinking of population growth, how the city will change in the next 5 years, 10 years, and so on. And also to we encourage cities to think of or think and design tools, financial tools, or other incentives to support the shift towards the circular economy. We encourage the thinking of waste and keeping regular progress of your activities, what you're doing. I want to reach to B, and I'm going in the right direction. And finally, we encourage to using sustainable development goals and the new urban agenda as frameworks. Okay, so we have 4 main action areas that we work on to support cities in achieving improved waste management. So we have knowledge and good practice sharing. Under this area, we have now recently established a WasteWise Academy that has a number of different knowledge products that are available on our website, including reports, including webinars, also deep dive webinars on waste treatment technologies, newsletters. We promote city-to-city partnership, and now finally under the WasteWise Academy, we will soon launch our the UN-Habitat or the WasteWise Cities first online course, which is also is going to be possible also thanks to ISWA that is supporting the realization of the online course. And also under this area falls the sharing of good practices. So we are also compiling, putting together good practices from cities to share with the others. The second area, it's waste data and monitoring. As I mentioned before, assess, it's important, being aware of how much waste a city generates, and how much it generates, what type of waste is generated, how much is collected and recovered. It is essential then to identify the gaps, in terms of infrastructures, in terms of policy, and then plan on how to fill them. So to answer this need of data, UN-Habitat, together with other partners, developed a WasteWise cities tool, which is a waste management system performance methodology based on the SDG indicator 1161. Later, I'll go a bit into more details. Then we have the third area is advocacy and education, and we're here we try to organize events for raising disseminate good practices in terms of education. So which for example, now we have around 20 already fact sheet sharing the experiences of schools and other educational institutions on how they brought in the waste management and natural resource management component in their schools. Finally, the fourth area is project finance and bankability support. So where basically we support cities in developing project proposals. We provide trainings and workshops, and we facilitate the partnership between cities, member cities, and potential donors. Okay, so the WasteWise cities as some partners as supporters beside like target groups to work with. So we have an advisory group that guide the WasteWise cities, and it meets like every 2 months. And the advisory group is diverse group with the private sector, like Sanergy, other UN agency, Development Cooperation Agency. We have the Global Alliance of the Waste Speakers. ISWA is a member as well. We have cities networks such as ICLEI, ACR Plus, and research institutes such as EAWAG. And also we, as Carlo mentioned, now we are very excited to launch, it's gonna be next month, the WasteWise partnership, which at the moment has like 4 members, UN-Habitat, ISWA, AFAL Norge, and UNUS, that they're coming together to deliver products and align methodology, such as, for example, the WasteWise Cities tool. If we can mainstream it, then it's going to be possible to compare the data and have better and being able to analyze data in a comparative way, because we are coming from the same point of view. And among the supporters of the WasteWise cities, at the moment, we have the Ministry of Environment Japan, Bank Foundation, Alliance to End Plastic Waste, our sister agency UNEP, and JICA, and the governments of Italy, Japan, and Germany through human resources availability. Okay, briefly, let me take you through this WasteWise Cities tool. As I mentioned, applying the WasteWise Cities tool, it's really like the base to start improving, to start the process to improve the solid waste management, because these allow us to assess the performance of the waste management system, as well as to plan for sustainable waste management strategy and policy. It is based on the SDG indicator 1161. So when you apply the tool, you will also be able to report on this indicator and see how your city is performing and moving towards a sustainable development. The tool is made of 7 steps. There is preparation, and then we look at the households generation and composition of the waste. Then we look at the non-households waste management generation, such as restaurants, hotels, streets. And then we look at the amount of waste received by recovery facility and the level of control. And we also look at disposal facilities, how much waste they receive and the level of control. And we also have a waste composition exercise at the disposal facility to validate the results of step 2. And finally, step 7 is linking the is creating links with other SDGs, such as the food waste, recycling rate, plastic leakage, and the greenhouse gases emission and air pollution. So the idea is like we start from the application of the tool, we analyze the data, a workshop, a stakeholder workshop is organized involving all the stakeholders of the waste chain, formal and informal, to discuss the results. Based on this discussion, it's possible then to start designing plans, strategic plans, and also project proposals that then will be used to approach donors to mobilize funds and create impact. This briefly, this is an example of what the type of information that the WasteWise Cities tool, or WACT, can give you. So total waste generated, and what is collected, what is recovered, what is disposed, what is uncollected, and also the linkages with other important SDGs. WACT, the county developed this action plan, which is now currently under implementation, and we are also supporting the county to mobilize more funds for the same. So why, after all of this, why a city should join the program? Which are the benefits? Here there is a list. For example, number 1 is you're going to be part of an international network of cities and actors involved in the waste management. This will allow to access information, share knowledge, confront with others that, for example, are facing your same issues. In fact, we also promote cities to city partnership and twinning. At the moment, we have like 10 twins happening, both like south-south and also north-south. And also you're going to receive support in assessing your waste situation by through our WasteWise Cities tool, and also to develop project proposals that then can be used for funds mobilization. And then instead, this was for the cities or local governments. Then, as I mentioned, we also have affiliates. So affiliates can also join, or entities, NGO, private sector, academia can be part of the WasteWise Cities by filling in our statement of affiliation that we're gonna share after the call. And then again, why should you join, and what is there that the WasteWise Cities is offering? So we have visibility. We're going to have, like, your profile is going to be published on our website. It's possible to share good practices coming from the affiliate, participate in events online or real to share case study and experience, thematic or also regional roundtables, and also to create connections with cities where maybe the affiliate is operating or based, and also access to waste data. And what is expected also from the affiliates and from the cities is commitment and willingness to work with us, to have, for example, one focal person that can interact with us and share information about the cities and start the discussion, the collaboration, how we can support each other in achieving common goals, because for every city, and it's important to have a sound waste management service, and for us it's part of our mandate. Now looking at I think I'm almost running out of time already. ISWA and Habitat have been collaborating since October 2019, and now we are going to our collaboration is further expanding through the WasteWise Cities partnership that is going to be launched in June. And the first product of the WasteWise Cities partnership of the WAP is going to be an online course called From Waste Data to Tangible Impact, Achieving Waste SDGs by 2030, which will look at the WasteWise Cities tool and how data can be used to develop the strategies and then eventually to create an impact, taking into consideration all the different stakeholders. And this is also possible thanks to this course is being realized also with the support of ISWA, as well as Bank Foundation and AFAL Knowledge. And that's it on my side. Thank you very much for listening. And if you have any questions, you are very welcome.
Thank you, Francesca. Thank you very, very much for this very comprehensive overview about the WasteWise Cities Initiative and the Waste Partnership. And now I hand over to Philip, the chair of the ISWA Sustainable Cities Initiative, to really interact with our national members, with all of us, and take the questions that we received and the others you have, because as we mentioned, this initiative will be only possible and successful if implemented in partnership with you, our national members. Philip, thank you for joining us. The video is yours.
Okay, thank you, Carlos. First of all, thank you, Francesca, for this very well presentation. I just want to focus on two important things where we align. And this is going to be, I think, the main topic of this webinar and of this session of today. It is great news to see that two very important international organizations, UN-Habitat on one hand, and ISWA are joining forces to unite the world, if you want, somehow, in coming up with sustainable management plans for the future. That is the whole idea. Now, why is ISWA and UN-Habitat so important that they work together? First of all, because the United Nations and UN-Habitat in particular are the ones that are focusing on behalf of the United Nations in getting good examples out, in trying to convince other governments and local actors, in trying to come up and to help them with sustainable waste planning. Why is ISWA playing a role in it? Because we at ISWA, that is our core business. That is why we unite private and public partners together. That is why we have our mission, and our mission is to promote and to develop sustainable and professional waste management planning to create a circular economy. That's what it is all about. And you, the national members of ISWA, you are the ones that are in direct contact with local authorities, with private companies in your region, in your countries. So what Francesca is asking is, how can we as national members of ISWA try to get the message out and have as many as possible participants to fill in and to share data and to share waste knowledge? And therefore they created the Waste Cities tool. And let's be honest, we at ISWA, we have created already a couple of years ago, the Global Waste Management Outlook Report. And the Global Waste Management Outlook Reports have all been going about sharing knowledge and sharing data, trying to come up with the right monitoring, being an advocate for circularity, and see how we move on. So that is the main topic. While I've been talking, there have been several questions that have been coming in, and let me take a couple, Carlos and Francesca, to share with you. One of them is from Spain. Spain wants to organize a seminar focused on the Spanish municipalities, and they ask how to do it. What I suggest, Francesca and Carlos, is that we, as ISWA, would figure as a hub, and that we would give all our support to the national member of Spain so that they can organize a webinar like this, but focused on the Spanish municipalities, in which we will be the host together with UN-Habitat. So thank you, Spain. It's like the Eurovision Song Contest. You get our 12 points anyway. There is a second question that come in is there a possibility of, if several cities come and work together, that partnerships can be created? Yes, I think so. We already have a lot of partnerships within ISWA. Francesca just explained all the partnerships between or within UN-Habitat. So the more we work together, the more we get the news out, the more partnerships will be possible. I don't know if you have other questions. I will look. There will be more questions coming in, but perhaps Carlos or Francesca or the staff of ISWA, you got other questions as well.
Thank you, Philip. Yes, we do have some questions, but I would like to add to the answer about Spain that also this is something that we can do on a regional basis. So we can focus on like Spanish municipalities organized by ATEGRUS, who is our national member in Spain, but we can also do it with our regional chapters. For example, we can do a webinar for municipalities in Latin America with the regional chapter of Latin America. We can do it with municipalities from Southeast Europe with our regional chapter there, or also with other regions that want to come together, as you mentioned. What we are promoting here is ISWA is a founding partner of the WasteWise partnership hosted by UN-Habitat. This WasteWise partnership aims to bring together cities, to bring together municipalities, to enhance municipal solid waste management. And how do we do it? Through our national members. So what we are doing here, Philip, is really inviting our national members to join this initiative, to be our, let's say, our bridge towards cities in the different countries, and then we will all benefit from that. So one question I have here, I had from the morning session is what are the roles and obligations of the municipalities or partners who join the initiative? And I think, Francesca, you explained very well the benefits, but they want to know what are the roles and obligations.
Thank you for this question. I can elaborate on this one. So I mentioned that there's no financial commitment, but what we ask from the cities and the other entities who are interested in who share like our vision is commitment. Commitment in terms of human resources and being and delivering activities. So for example, for when a city becomes a partner or a member of the WasteWise cities, we need a focal person who is going to be interacting with us. As soon as you join the program, you are asked to fill in a questionnaire that allow us to understand how the situation of the waste management system in the city is. And then based on that, we can give recommendations on like which tools, which steps of the WasteWise Cities tool can be applied. And if the city is, I don't want to talk about obligation because not that we are obliged, but we want the willingness. So if a city is really committed, then we can provide support, but they need to also to support us in supporting you to implement, for example, the WasteWise Cities tool. So focal person, human resources, and other in-kind contribution for the WasteWise Cities tool application. And then also regular exchange with us on, for example, if we are to develop a concept note together, of course, we need your engagement. We can support, but it's the city, it's you who knows the best which are your challenges and how it's possible to overcome them. And also the the focal person from the city should be like a bridge also for the other waste stakeholders that maybe we cannot reach, but the focal person can coordinate the other stakeholders, get information which then can be shared with us, and to improve our collaboration, especially when it comes to projects development. We need information. So these are the main, like what we request is really commitment, human resources that have a stake in advancing their waste agenda.
Okay, Francesca, just to make it clear, because I don't want that there are national members that would think, oh my God, this is going to take a lot of time, a lot of work, and above all, it's going to cost us a lot of money. So what I would like to say and repeat is, you made a tool, and that tool is you are asking for information. The most important thing is we as ISWA, we are the hub. We are going to organize, as our chairman Carlos just said, we are going to organize regional initiatives, webinars like this with our national members to get and to ask the members that they look for cities, local authorities, other organizations to fill in the UN-Habitat WasteWise Cities tool. Once you have received that information, and to be honest, for many of our national members within ISWA, that information is available. Perhaps not everything what you want, but a lot of data is available. We will share that data with you, and then you get back to us to say, listen, we saw that that city or that region, that national member within ISWA has a very good work, a very good process. This is examples on when it comes to sustainable waste management. Can they work with us and share it with others? And so we get partnerships, and so we continue. And I got another question that I got asking that there are several organizations or associations that represent different stakeholders. And the question is, can private and public partners participate? I think the answer is yes. The more information, as long as it fits within the framework of the WasteWise Cities tool, it is great. So yes, there is a possibility for several associations representing different stakeholders to participate, and we will be the hub and make sure that all the information goes to UN-Habitat, and it doesn't cost you anything. It only makes you a proud member of this planet because you are doing something for the best and for the next generations. I think it's important to know we're not asking, it doesn't cost anything. It will give you a medal if you participate.
Correct. Thank you for clarifying and further elaborating, Philip.
Any other questions?
Yes, Philip. We have one here in the chat from Sam from Uganda. And he's telling us that this is a great initiative, and he's thanking ISWA and UN-Habitat for that. And he says one of the limiting factors for the cities and other interested actors is lack of existing systems to guide the waste management of waste, especially from that part of the world in Africa. So what happens to cities and situations where it's hard to assess quantity and types of waste generated? So as you mentioned, Philip, what we are asking, what UN-Habitat is asking is data, but we have some realities where even the basic data is not available. And for sure, those are the situations we want and we need to address as a priority. So here's the question. In those cases where it's hard to assess quantity and types of waste, how can they integrate, how can they join the partnership?
What I think, and I'm also looking at Francesca. What I think is important, Carlos, is that we at ISWA, if we work as the hub, get as much information. So if there is a region in the world, a national member, a country, a big city, wherever, that is eager to work with us, but doesn't know how to start, that are also very important. It's also very important information. And if we will pass that on with UN-Habitat, perhaps we can, together with UN-Habitat, focus on that specific region and see how we can help them step by step. And I think that is the answer to Sam's question. If he wants to participate, but he doesn't have already this established sustainable waste management network within his own region or country, then let's see what are the first steps to move forward. It is, Carlos, more or less what we also suggested in our global waste management outlook reports, which we did in the past with the United Nations, the World Bank, etc. So yes, Sam, please don't give up. We will try to help you together with UN-Habitat. Francesca?
Yes, thank you. I just would like to add that, for example, in the case of how here we are very much aware that lack of data is one of the major challenges, especially like as you said, in Africa, and that is why we created or we developed this WasteWise Cities tool. By applying it, it is possible to assess the situation, and from there to start step by step the development of waste policies and action plan on how to improve on the solid waste management. So we really encourage every city to join us, and you can also have a look at our website. You can see how the work that we are doing. And for example, in Bangui, in city from Indonesia, now ISWA is implementing the WasteWise Cities tool, which will inform the development of an action plan. So really assessing is really the first step. And we created this tool for the assessment to fill the gap on lack of methodology to assess the waste management. Thank you.
One question, Francesca, that we also get is there any funding available to apply the 7 steps in the WasteWise Cities tool? That is a very direct question.
Good, I like direct. It depends. Well, sometimes we have funds, depending a bit on like our let's say on the engagement we have with donors, because different donors are interested in different topics and thematic and geographic areas. So now, for example, we are in the process of applying the WasteWise Cities tool in 19 cities, and all of this is supported by different donors. So your question is, it depends, but what we understood, and if there is willingness, we are going to be able to find a way to get the funds or other alternative solutions. So I hope this answers.
Well, this is a very nice answer, and I hope that it will help and also stimulate those regions and countries in the world where that information and this new approach is absolutely vital. But perhaps if we go up with this and we come up with more and more people and partners that are participating, our national members, on a certain moment, I even see a possibility that one national member can help another region in the world in sharing information together with UN-Habitat. And that's what solidarity is all about. And that's why the two organizations are aligned. It doesn't always has to cost a lot of money. Sometimes it is just about sharing knowledge, sharing data, and sharing best practices. And the path towards a sustainable waste management is not a path with 5,000 different ways and side roads. No, most of the time there is the same path to move forward, but there are several options because the world in the south is different in the north, the east, or the west. So I think that what I understood of your answer is yes, if some at the end different projects are chosen and they can count on support. And secondly, I also think that there is a role of solidarity that plays here, where those who have already come from a long way can share their knowledge with those who are eager to participate and to move forward step by step.
Philip, absolutely. And here it comes to my mind a question we received during the morning session about twinning. And I'm sure from what you are saying and from what Francesca said, also here is a role for the Sustainable Cities initiative within ISWA to really recruit cities that are eager to support other less developed cities, because as you mentioned, it doesn't need to cost a lot of money. It's also related to solidarity. So we, for sure, through our national members, we can find cities in the world who will be able to assist, to help other cities to improve their waste management cities. So having kind of a twinning project, and the Sustainable Cities Initiative will be the hub in order to find the cities who want to mentor and the cities who want to be the mentee and the mentored city. So we can put them together and we will benefit from that, because for sure it will come with positive lessons, it will come with interesting solutions that then can be replicated. So it's all about cooperation, it's all about, as you mentioned, solidarity, it's all about data in order to really solve this waste crisis.
Well, my dear friends, I think it is time, and what we have learned in those Teams and Zoom meetings of the last 14 months now is we have to be on time because we all have to go to our next meeting in a short time. As a moderator, I would like to thank Francesca and of course our chairman of ISWA, Carlos, for the good work. Also the staff of ISWA, who is always willing to help and to connect the world wherever they are. And the most important thing now is that we from ISWA promise to the UN-Habitat and to our national members, we will organize those regional webinars. We will also play in on the questions from our national members to organize it as hub and to get in a very close connection, continue the communication and the change of knowledge and data with UN-Habitat. And on the other hand, we count on you, national members of ISWA, to spread the word and to make sure that this invitation towards the national members, as Carlos called it, really goes out. And as I said this morning, I repeat today because I think it's very important. Yesterday is not ours to recover, but tomorrow is ours to win or lose. So let's win our tomorrows for the next generations. Thank you very much for being with us, and we hope to see you very soon again.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Philip. Thank you all. Take care. Bye-bye.